touches a nose loop to the palm of our hand. We can use this as a way to redirect our dog away from something, or just to simply get them focused and working with us before we train or around any distractions. We want to make this a fun, exciting game as well as the easiest thing that we can ask for, and then we can use this in so many different scenarios to get their attention and their focus.
Yes, good boy.
For sitting down, you're going to use your hand signal as well as your verbal cue sit and down, and then mark yes and reward once he does it. You can also reward a second or third time for him holding these positions. This just helps him understand this idea that if he continues to offer the thing that we asked him to do, that there's a chance for more reward. This is super helpful with all those advanced cues like place and leash walking and stay. It's also important that we don't repeat the cue over and over. As you can see, Brady knows sitting down, but he doesn't move at lightning speed. He goes a little slower pace, and that's okay. He knows what to do. You just have to give him time to process the information and then do the behavior. So you're going to ask him for a sit or down, and then you're just going to wait. Let him think about it, give him a chance, and then when he does, be ready to reward him. If you wait a little while, you can always ask a second time, but we want to avoid doing that on the regular. This can really devalue the cue word, and this goes for anything that we've taught him. For recall, we are going to say, Brady, come, and then as soon as he turns and looks at us, we're going to mark yes, and then begin praising him all the way to us, then reward once he arrives. The praise all the way to us is really important. It helps build excitement and reinforcement for doing the thing. It also helps keep his attention on us so that we don't have a squirrel moment where he diverts and goes a different direction. You can practice this around the house, in a fenced-in area, or even on a long leash like I have here. The long leash is a great way to get out in other green spaces like the park and open areas, but still give him some space so that you can practice your recall. This helps build up for those emergency situations where he might be in a more distracting environment, and we want to know that he can still recall to us in those environments.
Nice job, Brady.
Leave it means back away from the thing and look at me. So here we're practicing with dropping treats to mimic real life situations where food and dangerous things like pills, any kind of medication, foods that are not safe may drop on the floor. And we want to know that we can tell him to leave it and he will back away. In real life, you're not likely to have treats on you. So what you're going to do is what you just saw me do in this video clip, which is do a praise party to the treats. So as soon as he leaves it, you're going to say yes, and then you're going to run with him, praising him all the way to wherever you keep the treats, and then get him a reward for that. You can practice this around the house or in the kitchen with the treats, just like I'm doing here. We also practice some out of sight, leave it. Like I said, it is about 1 out of 5 times he did still go for it. So he's not quite 100% reliable, that if you go out of sight and tell him to leave it, that he's going to do it. But he's on the path towards that, and he's doing really great with it.
Good boy. Yes.
Leave it. Yes, good boy. Drop it means let go of the thing that is in your mouth. We can use this cue during playtime when we're playing tug. He really enjoys playing tug with like these longer toys. Another place to do drop it is when he has an unwanted item. When he has something and you want him to let go of it, you're going to cue drop it. And as soon as he lets go of it, yes, and praise and reward. Just like with leave it, in real time when these situations happen and he's grabbed something unwanted, you're not necessarily going to have a treat on you. So you're going to mark yes after he drops it and then do a praise party to the treats to get him something to reward him. Leave it and drop it are tough ones for our dogs. We're telling them they can't have all these fun things they find. And so we want to make sure that we are equally rewarding that so they continue to leave it and drop it when we ask.
Drop it. Yes, good boy. Nice job.
Place means go there, lay down, and stay there until released. His release word is free. When doing place, you're going to point towards the bed, saying place. Once he gets there and lays down, you'll mark yes and reward him by placing the treat on the bed. That is really important that during place that we are rewarding on the bed. This helps him know that all the good stuff comes to him where he is and he does not need to get up off the bed to meet us. Then you're going to walk around, add in some distance instructions, do whatever it is or whatever activity it is you're doing. And then you do want to make sure that you're coming back to him periodically and rewarding him. Again, by placing the treat on the bed, So you can just say, yes, place the treat on the bed, and then continue on. You do not need to give the cue again, because the cue means continue to do it until released, and he has been really great with that, as you can see in this video. And so you don't need to say it again. You're just rewarding him, which tells him, good job, keep it up. Here we're doing what we call a formal training session. This is one of 2 ways to practice his place. And here I'm working on distance, walking around more, adding more and more duration between the treats, and then adding in some different distractions, opening doors, dropping items, stomping past him, walking around him. We want to just be building in more and more distractions that he's able to do this with the goal being over time that you can add in more distractions, bigger distractions, as well as just more time between each treat until he no longer needs so many treats. And maybe he only needs one at the beginning and the end. And he is going to continue to stay there until he's released. When you're ready to release him, you will cue free. That lets him know he's free to get up. But you do not need to reward that with a treat, because the reward is he gets to get up and move at his own free will. If you cue free and he does not get up, you can first start by saying it again with a little bit more enthusiasm to get him excited to get up. But also, if in real time he didn't get up when you say free, you can just let it go, because you have now said it and he is free to get up and do whatever he wants. And if whatever he wants is to stay there, that's okay too. This just shows how solid he's gotten with his place. If he doesn't want to get up, he knows it's rewarding and reinforcing beyond there. And so he's choosing that instead of getting up. And that's okay too, because like I said, you already said the word, so he is free to get up whenever he wants. And that doesn't have to be immediate.
Brady, free.
Another way to practice is in real life contexts where you might want him to be on his place. So in my house, that's dinner time. I want all the dogs on their place during dinner, so I have a dog that's not bothering me and begging, but also a puppy, especially with the young one, that we know where he is and he's not getting into any trouble. So what you'll do is during dinner time or whatever other activity it may be where you would like him to be on his place, you're going to bring the bed near you, cue him to place, and then periodically throughout your time, you're going to be rewarding him. So here during dinner, we're eating, and then I'm periodically tossing him a piece of cheese to his bed. When I do this during dinner, if you're doing it during kind of a food time, I do recommend using something that you don't mind touching and then touching your own food. And for me, that's always string cheese. And then the best part about practicing in real time is that when you do this consistently in the same scenario and context, they will pick up that pattern and start doing the thing automatically. So for instance, with place, as soon as I put the bed down in the kitchen, he knows exactly what we're going to do. And before I can even say place, he is often already on the bed waiting and ready to go.
Brady, sit.
Stay means do not move from this position. So much like place, you're going to ask him to sit or down, and then you'll tell him to stay, and then you can move around periodically coming back to reward, and then you'll release him at the end with the cue free. The main difference between stay and place, other than that place is on a dog bed, is that stay is typically used for shorter term things, something small, you just need a minute or so or even just seconds to do something, whereas place is going to be for your longer term things, so 5 minutes and more.
Yes, good boy. Stay. Brady, free. Good boy. Nice job. Brady,
Wait means stop and don't go any further. So when we say wait, we're drawing an imaginary line and telling them they cannot cross it. But they do not have to be in any specific position. They can be sit, down, even moving around, as long as they don't cross the line. So for example, here I said wait at the bottom of the stairs. He's allowed to move around, do whatever, as long as he does not cross that line of the stairs. So I'm practicing by walking around, adding some of that distraction like we did with place and stay, and then tossing the treat back behind the line so that he, again, like place, he knows the food comes to him where he is. When I'm ready for him to cross the line, I can cue free, and that lets him know. This is really helpful on stairs so that you have a dog that's not tripping you going up and down the stairs. So I highly recommend practicing this as you go up and down stairs anytime with him. You can also practice this at any threshold like the front door that you don't want him bolting out of. So here we're practicing at the front door. I've cued him to wait. Again, he can walk around. He can sit, lay down, stand. It doesn't matter as long as he does not cross the line. Another big difference between wait and then place and stay is that with wait, we do not have to release unless we're letting them cross the line. So place and stay always need released. Wait only needs released if you're letting them cross the line like I did on the stairs. But here, I'm not letting him go out the door, so I'm not going to release him. I'm going to simply come in, shut the door, reward him and praise him, and that's it. He does not need released. I don't have to use that cue word. This is also a great one to use anytime there's packages or anything happening at the front door. So here we've practiced where I step out to pick up something. Again, cueing him to wait, and when I come back in, I don't have to release because I'm not letting him cross the line. Next, I really challenged him by walking away from the open door, again, to practice that idea that you cannot cross the line. I don't care what else you do, but you cannot go crossing that line that I said wait at. And he did perfect, of course.
Yes.
And then, like the stairs, anytime you're going to take him out, you're going to cue wait, and then you will release him to go through that door when you're ready. Free! Let's go. Good boy. For polite greetings, we use the cue go say hi. This helps him learn that he does not get to go greet people and dogs unless we've told him it's okay. This helps weed out dogs that are pulling towards others out on walks and things like that. So if you have somebody who wants to pet him, you're just going to ask them to put their hand out, palm forward, and you're going to cue go say hi. He's going to boop their hand. You're going to immediately say yes and reward him. And then you can send him in for a second time to get pets. Again, this is just building up so that he is not jumping on people and he's doing everything nice and polite. Of course, you can also do this inside the house and practice with guests entering. With guests inside the house, I like to pair this with place. And eventually then you don't have to use a leash either. So you're going to cue him to place, go to the door, greet your guest. Once they're in, you're going to go back to him, give your guest the instruction of putting their hand out, and cue Brady to go say hi.
Yeah. You just put your hand out like this. Brady, go say hi. Yes, good boy. Nice job. And then this time you can give him some pets. Brady, go say hi. Good boy. Nice job. Brady, place. Good boy.
Brady, let's go. All right, so we are out on a walk with Brady, and we're just going to talk about loose leash walking and what to expect with this as you take him home. So he's doing really beautifully with his leash walking, as you can see. Yes, good boy. He walks really nicely next to you on a loose leash. And so what we're doing to kind of continue to reinforce this and keep this behavior so that we don't have to worry about any pulling issues is doing what we call rewarding good choices. So when he's walking nicely next to us, yes, we're going to mark yes and reward him right at our side. And we're going to do this periodically to let him know he's still doing what we want. And this is going to help continue to teach him what we want him to do, which is walk at our side. And by doing this, we should be weeding out a lot of the pulling things without even having to directly address that, because right now he's not doing that. Yes. And we're just going to keep rewarding him for doing the right thing. And that's going to keep him doing that. When we reward, it's really important that we reward with the hand closest to him. Yes. This helps teach him that all the good stuff happens right at our side. If we start crossing our bodies, he will start meeting us in front, and then you'll have a dog that you're tripping over because they're trying to meet you where the treat comes. So we want to make sure we're always rewarding just right at our side with the hand closest to him. So when you go out on walks, you want to make sure you have a treat pouch or some way to kind of contain all your treats. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. And we're going to mark and reward him for walking at our side. When he sees people and dogs, sometimes he gets really excited. He is a very happy social guy, and he does love people and dogs. And sometimes it does come out in a bark, but he is definitely a friendly guy. And so one thing you can do, and that's what just happened there when you saw him kind of pick up his pace, a neighbor was out. Yes. So we're doing what we kind of call this the look at that game. And that just means when he looks at the person or dog, we're going to mark yes and then reward him for coming back to us. This starts to teach him that when he sees people and dogs in the environment, that is his cue to check back in with you instead of try to run towards them, pull towards them, bark at them, any of that. So that's why you kind of saw him kind of prance forward, and then I rewarded a yes Yes, a couple times. Good boy. Really quickly, that was me marking him for looking at the person and trying to catch that before he was pulling and barking. So you can kind of see that stopped him from going too much further in front of me and crossing and pulling, because I was quick with, as soon as he saw them, marking him for looking at those things. So that's called the look at that game. So pretty much that's a walk with Brady, is rewarding those good choices when he is doing the right thing, and then playing the look at that game when he sees distractions, which for him are mostly just people and dogs. Like I said, he's a very friendly guy and he wants to greet people, and we just want him to kind of learn a more neutral state, which is we love that you love people and dogs, but when we're out on a walk, you should not assume that we're going to go greet every person and dog. So you should stay neutral, be with me, and then we'll let him know, and we can release him to go greet people and dogs with our go say hi cue when that is an option. This helps, again, weed out any of that pulling or that excessive like barking at people and dogs. Yes. Good boy. Yes. So we're just stopping right here to let a car pass. Let's go. And let's go is our cue that we use to tell him we are ready to move on. If we have stopped, maybe you've stopped to talk to a neighbor, you've stopped to cross the street, anything like that, you can use your let's go cue. And then our last cue that we've worked on is this way, and that just means we're changing directions. So this way. Yes, good boy. Nice job, Brady. Good boy. Yes. Good job. And that's a wrap on Brady's training.